We continue now at the top of Daf Lamed Aleph Amid Aleph and Meseches Avodah Zarah. This is Avodah Zarah Daf 31a. The Gemara is continuing a statement from Rav Asi, from Rabbi Yochanan, from Rabbi Yehuda ben Beseira, that there are three levels when it comes to wine. The strictest level is if you have wine that actually was used as a libation for Avodah Zarah. The second level is Stam Yenam. Let's say you just have wine and you don't know whether it was used for Avodah Zarah or not, so that's Asr Bahana, that's forbidden. Bahana, you can't get benefit from that. Rashi says Stam Yenam Asr Bahana, Mishum Gezeras Yayin Esech. This is just general wine because of a Gezerah. Maybe you have Yayin Esech, maybe you'll have wine that was poured to Avodah Zara. That's why it's Asr Bahana. Umitame Tomas Mashkin Beravias, and that second level, Stam Yenam, is Tame Tomas Mashkin Beravias, which we'll see Rashi in a moment. It just means that it's Tame like any other liquid. And then the third level is Hamafkid Yeno Eitzel Ovet Kochavim. Let's say a person deposits his wine by an idol worshiper, Asr B'Shasiyah, then it would be forbidden to drink that, Umutter Bahana, but it would be permitted to get benefit. Rashi explains, Mitame Tomas Mashkin, again, the second level is going to have Tomas Mashkin. Mitame Tomas Ochlin Mashkin, Ketoras Mashkin. It's going to be Mitame, the regular Toma of food and drinks, just like any other drink. Tomas Sheretz, which is called Tomas Sheretz, She'eno Mitame Adam V'Kelim, meaning if it became Tame from a Sheretz, from a non-kosher creeping animal, so then it's going to be Tame at the level where it's not going to be Mitame people or vessels, Ela Ochlin Mashkin, it's just going to be Mitame other food and drink. V'shiuran Lakabel Toma Beravias Halug, and the amount that it needs to, in order to receive the Toma, is a quarter of a lug. Kechol Tomas Mashkin, following all the rules of Tomas Mashkin. So in any case, those are the three levels. Now the third level over here is if somebody deposits the wine by an Ovid Kochavim, it's usher to drink, but it's mutter to get benefit. And so the Gemara continues and asks, V'atnan, but didn't we learn in the Mishnah, it's a Mishnah in Demai, it says in the Mishnah, Hamafkid Peirosav Eitzel Ovid Kochavim, if somebody deposits his produce by an Ovid Kochavim, by an idol worshiper, Harehein Kipeirosav Shel Ovid Kochavim L'Shvias Ulamaiser, it's considered like the produce of an Ovid Kochavim in terms of being strict, that it might be from a Shemitah year, or Meiser might not have been taken off. The point over here is that we assume that the Ovid Kochavim might have exchanged it with his own produce. You can't rely on the fact that it really does belong to the Jew. And so therefore, how can you say that it's mutter bahana? We really should be strict in a situation where you deposit the wine by the Ovid Kochavim, because he might have switched the wine. And the Gemara continues and answers, Kagon sheyichid lo karen zavis. No, the case where we don't have to be strict is if he designated a particular corner and it's locked up over there or it's sealed over there, then you don't have to be concerned. The Gemara says, well, if there's no concern, if so, b'shasiyah nami l'shtri, so it should be permitted even to drink it. Why do we say that hamafkid yeno eitzel ovid kochavim is asur b'shasiyah mutter bahana? It should be permitted to drink as well. To Rabbi Yochanan ikla lePerud, because Rabbi Yochanan, he went to a place called Perud. That was a place of Bar Kapara. Bar Kapara had died. Amar, and he said, Klum yesh mishnas Bar Kapara. Is there anyone here who has teachings from Bar Kapara? Tana le Rabbi Tanchem demin Perud. Rabbi Tanchem from Perud, he taught as follows from Bar Kapara, hamafkid yeno eitzel ovid kochavim. If somebody deposits his wine by an ovid kochavim, mutter b'shasiyah, it's actually permitted to drink. So again, if we're talking in a situation where it's yichid lo karen zavis, it should be completely permitted, even permitted to drink. And when he heard this teaching of Bar Kapara, Kari Oleh, so he called about him, Makom sheyipol ha'etz sham yehu, the place where the tree falls, that's where it is. The Gemara says, Sham yehu sal kadayzach, do you really think that's where the tree itself is? There's no tree over there, meaning to say Bar Kapara has already died, he's not around anymore. Ela sham yehu peirosav, rather what the pasuk means is that that's where the produce is, the students, the Talmidim are there, and we're hearing these great words from the Talmidim. In any case, we do have a question over here when it comes to depositing the peiros by an Ovid Kochavim, so is it completely permitted or not? And the Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Zeir says, Lokash, it's not difficult, Ha Rabbi Eliezer, Ha Rabbanan, it's actually a machlokas tanoim between Rabbi Eliezer and the Rabbanan. The Tanya, as we learned in a brayso, Echad halokeach ve'echad hasocher bayis bechatzero shel Ovid Kochavim, whether a person buys or rents a house in the courtyard of an Ovid Kochavim, umiluhu yayin, and he fills it with wine, umafteach chosom biyad Yisrael, and the key or the seal is in the hand of the Jew, so a similar case to what we had above of yichid lo karen zavis, so it's actually a machlokas tanoim. Rabbi Eliezer matir v'chachamim osir. Rabbi Eliezer says it's permitted, and the chachamim say forbidden. Amar Rabbi Chia bereid Rabbi Chia bar Nachmeni, Amar Rav Chisda Amar Rav. Rav Chia, the son of Rabbi Chia, the son of Nachmeni, said that Rav Chisda said that Rav said. V'amrila, and some have the version Amar Rav Chisda Amar Zeiri, that Rav Chisda said that Zeiri said. V'amrila, and some have the version Amar Rav Chisda, that Rav Chisda said Amar li Abba bar Chama, that Abba bar Chama said to me, Hachi Amar Zeiri. This is what Zeiri said. Halacha Rabbi Eliezer, that the halacha is like Rabbi Eliezer, that we can be lenient, we can permit in this case. And Rashi explains Vatanan, but we learned in the Mishnah in Demai, Hamafkid Peiros of Eitzel Ovid Kochavim Harein Kepeiros of Lamaisros of Lashvias. If one deposits his produce by an Ovid Kochavim, you have to be strict that it's like the produce of the Ovid Kochavim in terms of Meiser and Shvias. The point is that there's a suspicion they might have switched things. V'hachanami Dil Mechalfa here also, maybe switch the wine. V'hai Chamer Ovid Kochavim, maybe this is really the wine of the idol worshipper. And the Gemara answered, Sheyichin Lo Keren Zavis. We're talking where he has a designated corner. U'masr Lo Mafteach O and he gave him the key, or he made some kind of seal. Parod is makam shel bar kapara v'niftar bar kapara. Parod was the area where bar kapara was from, and he died. Sheyipol ha'etz, where the tree falls. Sheshachen sham talmidei chachamim, that there are talmidei chachamim. Sham yehus al gadaitoch shu atzmo yitzma sham. Do you think it means that it itself is there? V'ashachivlei, but he died, meaning bar kapara died. The tree has fallen. Ela sham yehu peirosav. Rather, what the pasuk means is that's where the produce is. This is a pasuk in Koheles. The pasuk says makom sheyipol ha'etz sham yehu. So it means that the sham yehu means that the produce of the tree is there. Yimtzu peiros ha'etz shenashru mimenu. That's where you can find the fruits that have fallen off the tree. Afkan atzarach l'divrei chachamim. So too means over here. If somebody wants to know the words of the chachamim, yishal es b'nei ha'ir, you should ask the people of that city. Sheshomen u'lemeidin mimenu, who heard and they learned from him. U'melamdim osan lachem, and they can teach that to others. Mafteach ochosam Rabbi Eliezer matter. Again, if the Jew has the key or the seal, Rabbi Eliezer says it's mutter af b'shasi, it's mutter even to drink. The chachamim osrin, and the chachamim say it's usr. Rashi explains lasos kain, meaning it's usr to do that. V'avid shari b'hanoah kedamin la'el. But if it is done that way, it is going to be permitted to get benefit, as we said earlier. And the Gemara continues. Amar Rabbi Elazar says, Hakol mishtamer b'chosam echad. Everything is considered to be protected properly with one seal. Chutz min hayayin shein mishtamer b'chosam echad. Except for wine, one seal is not sufficient. For Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yochanan says, Afilu yayin mishtamer b'chosam echad. Even wine is considered to be protected with just one seal. And the Gemara says, V'lo pligi. They're not really arguing. Hak Rabbi Eliezer, hak Rabbanan, because one goes like Rabbi Eliezer and one goes like the Rabbanan. Again, above we said that Rabbi Eliezer is lenient and the Rabbanan are strict, and that's exactly the machlokis, whether one seal is sufficient or not. And the Gemara continues, Ika diamri, there are those that say a slightly different version of the above. Amar Rabbi Elazar says, Hakol mishtamer b'chosam b'sochosam. Everything is considered to be protected if it's in a seal within a seal, meaning a double seal, as the Gemara will explain soon. Chutz min hayayin shein mishtamer b'chosam b'sochosam. Except for wine, that's not considered protected, even if there is a double seal. For Rabbi Yochanan, Rabbi Yochanan says, Afilu yayin mishtamer b'chosam b'sochosam. Even wine is considered protected if there is a double seal. And according to this version, the Gemara says, V'tarvayu k'Rabbanan, both of them, meaning both Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Yochanan, are going within the strict shita of the Rabbanan. Again, the Rabbanan said, against Rabbi Eliezer, the Rabbanan said that one seal is not good. And so the machlokes amoraim is as follows. Marsavar, one holds, ki pligi Rabbanan led Rabbi Eliezer, b'chosam echad. When did the Rabbanan argue on Rabbi Eliezer? That's with one seal. Aval b'chosam b'sochosam shar, but if you have a double seal, that would be permitted. That's Rabbi Yochanan's opinion, that even yayin mishtamer b'chosam b'sochosam, that a double seal is good by wine, that would be even within the sheet of the Rabbanan. Umar Savar, and the other one holds, meaning Rabbi Elazar holds, afilu chosam b'sochosam asri, that even if you have a double seal, the Rabbanan would say it's forbidden. And the Gemara continues, Hechi dami chosam b'so chosam. What exactly is considered to be a seal within a seal? What's considered to be double sealed? Amar Rava says, Agno de puma de chavisa shrika v'chasima. Let's say you put a basin on the mouth of a barrel and you smear it and you seal it. That would be considered to be a double seal. Have chosam b'so chosam. That would be considered a seal within a seal. V'lo. And if you don't do that, then that's not considered to be double. Or let's say dikula. Let's say you take a basket, umahadik, and then you fasten it. Have chosam b'so chosam, that would be considered a seal within a seal, but lo mahadik, but if you don't also fasten it, lo have a chosam b'so chosam, that would not be considered a seal within a seal. And nod bediskia, let's say you have a wineskin in a sack, chasimas piv lamata, so if the opening is turned downward, have a chosam b'so chosam, that's a seal within a seal. Piv lamal, if it's turned upward, lo have a chosam b'so chosam, that's not considered to be a seal within a seal. V'chi chayif pumein, if you turn the opening lagav towards the inside, v'tzayer v'chosam, and you tie it and you seal it, have a chosam b'so chosam, that would be considered a seal within a seal. And Rashi explains again in the second version, "V'tarvayu k'Rabbanan," both Rabbi Elazar and Rabbi Yochanan are following the Rabbanan. The Ikar Rabbi Eliezer b'chosam echad nami shari, because again, according to Rabbi Eliezer, even one seal would be good. And what's considered a seal within a seal? Agna puma dechavisi. You have a basin on the mouth of the barrel. Kafa mizrak al piachavis. Again, the basin on the barrel. Sharika means tach betit. That means that you smear it with clay. V'dibek sevivos pia mizrak ledof ne'achavis. You're attaching it to the walls of the chavis. And then the Gemara had dikula. You have a basket. Kafa sal al piachavis. That's a basket on the mouth of the barrel. V'hachavis megufa dahainu beis chosamos. And then the chavis is also, it has its own lid. That's considered two seals. Megufas hachavis shedvuka b'chavis. You have the megufas hachavis, which is attached to the barrel. V'nisiyavsha, and it dried. V'sal kafoyla, and then you have the basket fastened over it. And then umahadik, it's fastened, means nichnas bedochik piasal levloes hachavis. Again, you're pushing it in there in a tight fashion, the mouth of the basket. So then have a chosim v'sochosim. That's considered a seal within a seal. V'lo tarach leziyufe kulihai. The Ovid Kochavim is not going to take the effort l'ziyufe to forge, in other words, to forge the seal in such a situation. But lo mahadik, if it's not tight in there, noach litlo, then it's easy to take. Havikamanda lesser, that's like nothing. And nod shel or malayayin, again, that's a wineskin. It's made out of hide. It's filled with wine. V'kasher munach besoch diskia shel or, it's placed inside a leather sack. Piv shel nod. So if the mouth of the node, if the mouth of the wineskin, lemata besoch diskia, if that's turned down within the sack, havechos besoch, that's considered a seal within a seal. The tarach lafo chalahatir kesher hadiskia, because again it's a bother to turn it over and undo the tie over there. The kesher hanod, the tie of the sack, and the tie of the wineskin. V'lachzor lekasher kulihai lo tarach, to go ahead and then retie it. A person's not going to do all that. And Rashi continues, v'kayef pume, if you turn the mouth of the node inward, shel node lagav, again you turn the mouth of the wineskin inward, v'tzayer v'chosam, and you tie it and you seal it. Kein shekosher nodos shalanu shal shem, and we do that similarly with our nodos of oil. Shalachar shekosher. So after you tie it, machnisin pihanod, you bring in the mouth, the opening of the node, kishu kosher, when it's tied, besocha within it, viod kosher mosav hamacher, so then you tie it another time, then afilu ein diskia, then even if you don't have a sack, have a chosam besochosam, that's considered a seal within a seal. And the Gemara continues, Tanu Rabban and the rabbis taught, Barishona hayuomrim, in the beginning they would say, Yayin shel ein kushi aser, that the wine of ein kushi is forbidden, mipnei biras surika, because of biras surika. Rashi explains, ein kushi is makom kusim. Ein kushi was a place where the Samaritans were. Again, the Samaritans were not so careful in mitzvahs, and it's near biras surika, which is ovdei kochavim hein. It's near biras surika, which is a place of idol worshippers, usmuchen le'ein kush. It's near ein kush, and so therefore they said, the wine of ein kushi, it might really be from biras surika, and that's why it's problematic. And similarly, the Brisa says, V'shel barkasa aser, also a barkasa, which was another city of Kusim, that's aser, memnei kfar parshoy, because of the village of Parshoy, which were idol worshippers. V'shel zagdor aser, and also Zagdor, which was also an area of Kusim, that's aser, memnei kfar shalim, because of kfar shalim. That's what they originally said. All of these Samaritan areas, wine that comes from there, is going to be forbidden. But chazru lamer, but then they said, chavios psuchos asuros, if the barrels are open, they're forbidden. But stumos mutaros, but if they're closed, then it's permitted. And the Gemara says, Meikara my savar ulavasof my savar. What did they think originally, and what did they think at the end? Meikara savar, originally they thought, Ein kusi makbid al maga ovid kochavim, that a kusi doesn't care if an ovid kochavim, if an idolater touches the wine. Loshna psuchos v'loshna stumos, doesn't matter if it's open, doesn't matter if it's closed. Ulavasof savar, but at the end, the Brisa held, Ki lo kabid apsuchos, when are they not strict, when don't they care? That's if it's open. But astumos makbid kabid, but they are strict when it's closed, and therefore we can trust a situation where the barrel is closed. The Gemara continues, ustumos mutaros, but by the closed barrels is it really permitted? Or a mini, we have the following contradiction, and we will continue with this discussion in the next video on Daf Lamed Aleph Amud Beis.